There was a lot of people were trying the same style of everything, and Jeff, even the subjects he was choosing to write about were vastly different. And I always enjoyed that about his work. And I used to go into schools a lot to teach poetry workshops. I don't do it as much anymore. I hardly do it at all, actually. And the reason for that is I have really bad anxiety in school. School was not a good place for me, and so having to be in that situation just sets me off, and my doctor is just like, you can keep doing this, or I can put you on drugs. I don't know what to do with you. And I just felt like every time I was going to school, I was having a heart attack. So I just kind of stopped, and now when I do shows, I try to invite students out to the shows and do like a matinee for them, because I still like to talk to students, I just hate being at school. But one of the things I used to do with students is teach poetry workshops, and I enjoyed them. You know, you'd get the typical dude bros who were like, teach me to write a poem to make her fall in love with me. And I was like, oh, you need a wizard. I don't know, like, somebody good with potions, I can't help you. I don't know what to do. Because they'd heard like, oh, you write love poems, so it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, you can say how you feel, but there's no ownership. Like, I mean, they have to feel something as well, and if it doesn't, then it just doesn't work, so don't worry about it. But one of the things I really loved about those workshops were the kids that existed on the periphery. Everybody here probably knows one or two kids they went to school with that existed on the fringes of everything else. And chances are, if you didn't know who that kid was, you were that kid. Not a comfortable place to be, a very isolating way to grow up. But what that does, what that isolation does, is it really teaches you to become your own thinker. You're not following along in pursuit of popularity or in pursuit of acceptance from other students, because you're just never going to have that. And so it teaches you to think for yourself and have your own beliefs, and that sets you apart. And what I really loved about workshops is those kids who existed on the periphery had a certain level of humility, and if they let it out, it just drew a kind of magic out of them when they let it happen. And the beautiful part about that was you could watch every other student's projective narrative change about this kid, because they all had their own thoughts. Like, I mean, what everybody else told them what to think of this person suddenly changed, suddenly fell away, and somebody new was standing in front of them. And I thought Jeff did a really great job of capturing that, so I want to read this piece for you. Jason. His white sneakers and black socks that he pulls up to his knees. He's cut off jean shorts and a Hawaiian shirt that he cannot for the life of him learn how to fucking button straight. He has multiple decks of Magic the Gathering collectible trading cards, and a hair gel ratio that is still in its experimental phase. The rest of the class is made up of 7th grade celebrity impersonators, perfect examples to the powers of product placement, decked out in rhinestone jeans and velour sweatsuits that cost more than I am paid to teach their poetry workshop. Jason is easily the most interesting one out of 40, and if I could, I would kick the rest of them out and go watch Eliminate in the library. No one likes to admit it, but kids like these don't grow on trees. You can sometimes look at a 12-year-old and see the obnoxious idiot they could one day become. But these kids aren't bad in that grow up and sell crack to preschoolers kind of way. More the kind that are gonna drive a Hummer with a Save the Planet bumper sticker. I can't blame them completely though. Jeff McDaniel says that some people are boring because their parents had boring sex on the night they were conceived. But Jason's different. A ball of nervous tics and endless Monty Python quotes. If you ask me, Mom and Dad got freaky. He knows more about They Might Be Giants than any human needs to. And he's read Lord of the Rings so many times he can speak Elvish. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, Cimmerillion. But not one of the assignments Jason has handed in has had anything to do with who 50 Cent had beef with, or oh my God, Paris Hilton's getting out of jail. So he stands up to read his poem. clutching it in his hands like it was God's autograph. He says, "Ode to my bathroom. I am a roll of toilet paper, and my life is shitty." Now, to the kids at Union Middle School, shit is not just second banana to fuck, it is its own atomic bomb of profanity that sends electromagnetic spasms of laughter rippling through the crowd. The 12-year-old J-Lo in the front row laughs so hard she snorts. Like a mouse stuck in a vacuum. Every day I see Jason watching her with the unrequited longing that you can only have when you're in love. He continues, "I was born in a factory and raised in a plastic bag. Now I hang out next to the magazines and the plunger in a constant fear of ass." All the way in the back, Eminem's biggest fan flaps his arm like a palm leaf welcoming home the Lord Jesus. Last week, he spent the entire period flicking bits of eraser and calling Jason a homo until he was about to cry. Now, Jason is smiling so wide he can barely speak to finish the poem. "But today," he continues, "I am relieved, 'cause I can smell the 3-bean chili that the family I live with is cooking. And I know the end is near." He sits down to a standing ovation. I swing my head in an aw shucks pendulum. Later he asks me if I was pissed. I say, "Jason, never let anyone ever tell you any different. Poetry exists to give the socially awkward a way to finally be applauded by their peers."